Hey guys, it's Sherry Vegas and welcome back to my channel. So in this tutorial today, we're going to be working with agate slices and resin, and we're going to be creating a really cool tray. I'm so excited to make this. I've had this idea in my head for so long that I've been wanting to work more with agate slices and resin, and it's just taken me a little while to get everything together. So I have got a whole bunch of agate slices that I bought from a crystal supply shop. You can also buy them online from Etsy, eBay, Amazon. Tons of places sell them. And then I have got this mold. So this mold is a Shattered Shapes silicone mold, and it is part, look how nice this mold is. So it's part of the cake stand set, which comes with 3 pieces. This is the medium size, or the middle tier, and I just thought it would actually be really cool to use it for this. So do not worry, I am going to be doing a cake stand tutorial very soon. And Shattered Shapes has also given me a discount code for everyone, because these are very high quality silicone molds made in Australia. And then I've also got some really cool little handles that I ordered off eBay. Was it eBay? Or Etsy? No, Etsy. I ordered these off Etsy. I'll add the link below. I just really like them. I thought they'd be really cute to use in this. I really like the shape to this and how it's got like this really nice sort of curved edge. It looks really cool and natural, and that's why I thought it'd be great. Plus it's also a decent thickness to it, which is going to then allow me to be able to put these in without them sticking out of the resin. So the code for this is Aussie Sherry 10. I'm going to add Nina's link below for Shattered Shapes molds. I highly recommend them. If you've watched my tutorials before, you know I use her molds all the time, doing all different things, and they honestly last quite a while. They last a lot longer than my cheap ones that I buy off eBay that generally break after a few goes. These ones really do last the test of time. And she also puts really cool care instructions, so you know how to look after your molds too. So this is part of that 3-tiered cake stand, which I do have a tutorial coming up for that, which is so cool too. I thought of a really cool idea, and I'll probably be filming that after this one. But I feel like I'm rattling along quite a lot, so let's just get into this tutorial. I started by mixing up 300 ml of casting resin. Today I'm using the Make Art casting resin called the Crystal Clear. Then I divided that up and I did 2 small parts of color and 1 big part of just clear resin. So I'm using Emerald from Artisu. This color is no longer available. And then I have got, I think it is the Yellow Gold from Ellie Chem resin. I started by applying the emerald color around the outer ring of my silicone mold. With my gold, I just followed the same shape that I created with the emerald color, just going on the inside. I've been wanting to do a green and gold color palette for so long, so when I found these green agate slices, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And then also finding the handles off Etsy, which were the gold with the clear, I knew that they would all work perfectly together. Now I'm just using a heat gun to go around and blend a little bit of my green and gold together, plus also pop some bubbles, and then apply my clear resin to the center. The reason why I'm using a heat gun instead of a blowtorch with this to pop the bubbles is because I don't want to burn my mold. Blowtorches get really hot and you can easily damage your silicone molds, so I recommend using heat guns only when you are working with silicone molds, just because you've got a temperature control on them and you're not going to burn the mold by accident. So if you've ever had a mold where you've gone to pull the resin piece away and it's stuck in sections, it's probably because you've overheated that area, and then when you've used a blowtorch and then it's damaged the mold. While I was letting my resin sit for a bit so it can create some cool effects in the mold, I started working out my agate slice design. So I just worked that out on the side and then just started to place them on in. Obviously I don't want to move the resin too much, so try to work out your design beforehand so that way you're not having to take them out and move them around in the resin, because then you're going to affect that really cool pattern that we've got. So the pattern that's occurring in the resin is because the clear resin is pushing against the colored resin, but because it's in a mold, the color resin is then pushing back, which is giving me that really cool effect. And I also wanted to leave the center clear, so that way parts would have like the emerald and gold and parts would be clear, so you could see the agate slices really nicely through it. I gave it a light little heat gun, just to make sure I didn't put any bubbles into my resin, because we are casting and you will be able to see those. And then I let my resin sit. If you have been following me on Instagram, you would know that I've been in the process of designing a product for resin, and these are my like sparkle chips. So they're a mixture of glitter and like sparkly things all together. So you guys get a little sneak peek of this. Hopefully this will be launched before the end of the year. I just found that I was constantly mixing this up myself for projects, so I thought I might as well get it made into one instead of buying multiple items and mixing them together. So it's a mixture of glitter and crystal chips and like little gold flecks through it. It's really pretty, and I'm going to do it in 3 different colors. But what I'm doing now is just placing this mixture all in between the agate slices and into the resin, just because I wanted to add a bit of extra sparkle and pizzazz to this, and I feel like this looks so amazing. And this is just really like taking it to that next level, mixing in my sparkle chips. Okay guys, so it is time to pour the next layer of resin and add in the handles. I am doing this probably about half an hour in. So the resin is a little bit gelled, but it's not fully set. So when I pour the second layer of the clear resin, it's going to do a really cool effect to it, where the clear resin is going to push down into the resin that I've done before and create like a 3D look when you look really close into it. So you can pour like multiple layers of resin even if it's not fully set, but just know that that next layer is going to push and create effects that happens to the first layer. So if you like your first layer and you don't want it to change, then wait like until it's fully gelled or set before you pour your clear coat. But I want it to kind of create a really cool pattern, a little bit stone agate slice looking, because that's what we are doing. And then I'm going to place my handles in. So let's get started. The next step is just mixing up a new batch of your casting resin. I also did add a little bit of the Artisue sparkle powder, which is not available anymore because Artisue doesn't sell her products anymore, so I'm using up the last of what I've got. I really love this sparkle powder, and I'm trying to find another brand that does it because it's not a glitter, it's just a clear sparkle, so it's really pretty when you do like any sort of casting work, because it just adds that extra like little bit of shine and iridescence to the piece. Then I use my heat gun just to pop any bubbles that might be in my resin, because this is just a clear layer, so you really will see those bubbles if you don't get them out. When you work with just clear resin, when you add pigment and stuff in it, the pigment can cover those bubbles and it's not as noticeable, but when you are doing clear coats and stuff, you really do have to make sure you get them. And then I'm just making sure that this resin goes all the way to the edges and covers the full surface of my tray before I place my handles in. I think I bought these handles off Etsy. I was just looking for some different handles than what my hardware store carries, because Bunnings doesn't carry the nicest handles, and I was looking up like crystal handles, and I found these and I thought they really would be something cool for a project, so I bought them without any like project in mind, but I think they look great in this piece. I just like them because they've got the clearness to it, so it kind of like represents like resin, and I found the hardest thing was just try to like even them out, because I'm not working with like a perfect circle or a perfect square, because the inside of this tray does have like that rippled edge to it. It was a bit hard to actually work out where was the even placing for them, so I just had to eyeball them and kind of move around and make sure I got them in like fairly close to where they look like they were symmetrical. I just waited 24 hours before I demolded this piece. It's always good to give your casting items a little bit longer and not pull them out too soon. And I really love how this is looking. It looks so great and so pretty. I am super happy with how this has turned out. Okay guys, so it is the next day and I've just pulled this out of the mold. How great does this look? There's one last step to do, and I want to just add a border of gold going around the edges, and I'm going to be trying a different technique than what I normally do. Is I've got this 18 karat gold leafing pen from Krylon. They finally came back in stock at Archery Creative, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go around the edge and just do that finishing touch, and also probably take a little bit of this sharpness off because it is feeling a bit too sharp, but I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. I just got a sanding brick, and this one was a really fine grain. You don't need to use a high grit or anything rough. You just want to take off any of those sharp edges that the tray might have, because obviously you don't want to cut yourself on your own tray. So I'm just going off really gently and just taking off those edges and just checking as I'm going. And then once I've done that, I started to also sand around the sides where I'm going to be applying my gold edging, just because by doing this, it's going to let that pen, the ink in the pen, grip to the resin, because resin's really slick. So if that pen and the ink has nothing to grip to, it's going to make it harder, and it means it's going to take more layers. Then with my pen, I just carefully went around the outer edge and started to fill that in all gold. This did take 2 layers to do. Even with the sanding giving it a bit of grip for it to stick to, I still had to do 2 layers just because there was a few little brush marks that the pen does leave. But I've got to say the pen was really easy to use, and it gave me a really pretty gold. I wish it was a little bit bigger, because you really do have to, if you're going to do a big space, you need to keep going back and refilling in. And then I also went on just the top of the tray, like the edging on the top, just to add that really pretty, like, sort of beveled look to this tray. And I just was really careful when I was doing that to not go too deep in. How great does this look? I just finished the gold edging and I used that 18 karat gold leafing pen. I really do like this pen. I wish it was a tiny bit bigger because I had to do quite a lot, but it was really easy to use. I did end up doing 2 coats on this, but you get a really solid metallic finish to this. And then I also just put a little bit on top to add a bit of that like gilded edge to it. So I'd recommend this pen, and I wish they made like a bigger size as well, so you could do different size projects. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on this tray is and what you would use it for. Would you put candles or jewelry or whatever on? Just let me know in the comments below, and let me know also too, like, do you like the agate slices in the tray, and what kind of colors would you use? I'm always interested in hearing your feedback. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe, as I post all sorts of art, craft and DIY videos every single week. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell so that way you get notified every single time I do upload a new video and you don't miss out. And if you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up. It lets YouTube know to share this video to more resin enthusiasts. So thank you guys so much for watching.